can be both a help and a...
Hello everybody and welcome back to Genshin Impact. It's Terry. Today we're going to be finishing Chapter 3, Act 4. The King Deshret and the Three Magi, which we sort of ended in a rush yesterday, or Wednesday, last time I was streaming. But we're just going to go straight back to that story quest instead of doing anything else. Last time we were at the haunted hospital, and so yeah, that's where we are right now. We need to find 3 monuments to unlock the front gate.
Motion to compel!
And we can get into the hospital and get the quest started back up.
Off we go!
So I did get someone to finally be able to do a little bit of damage.
Let's light it up!
That someone was Cyno.
Everybody
He is
stand
still
back!
level 50.
Incinerate!
I just gave him a whole bunch of elemental mastery on one of his artifacts. So hopefully he does some damage if he goes after like literally anyone else. I think it's okay.
Solidify! Where do you think you're going? This is order.
Oh, come on. He's stuck in the wall.
Where do you think you're going? I'll be back.
Motion to compel!
So it's not up here. I think I'm gonna swap out Yinfei, just so I don't have 2 fire characters on the team and nothing else.
Want me to come along?
Rukkhadevaka was good. Go around here. Don't remember why. I think it was just for the sand dunes. So I might swap him for a bow or dendro person. Because I might have to swap for dendro.
Time to go.
Let's light it up! I'm going in!
Stabilize!
One with nature.
Terrific!
Wind strike.
Nowhere to run!
That one's unlocked. Find 3 more. I found one. Oh, do I have to unlock them in an order? Copy.
Into the wind. The wind knows me.
Okay, that did is buried a little bit. I was about to say, if I swap out of Kazuha, just to have to swap him back in because it's buried under sand.
They're still alone?
Under sand. Sort of seems like a waste of time on my part. Someone's still stuck? Okay, then where is one that's not this one? Fortunately, it just says click. Oh wait, was it up top? I think there was one up top. Yes. It's also locked.
Spring forth! Your sins weigh upon your spirit! You stand condemned!
There we go.
Guilty!
So we just have to kill all the enemies. So did I miss an enemy? Did an enemy not die? One of the Yugioh guys. One of you guys lived.
Let's light it up! Huh?
Scatter!
Okay. Oh, reinforcements, of course.
I will have order.
Teamwork is dreamwork! Huh?
Surrender! Propagate! Solidify!
Huh?
Scatter! Nowhere to run! Terminate! Propagate! Gather! Futile!
Huh?
Scatter!
This last one is also done. Now we can get into the hospital. Go on the list. I'll have them. I'll hate them. I believe. Oh, I have to find a key to unlock this. But hey, this is not blocked anymore. Cool. Emergency notice. So a patient ran off? The week's meal. Keep a balanced diet, rest, and maintain a good mood. Monday is bean soup. Curry shrimp for dinner. That sounds good. Tuesday is salad. And then fish with cream sauce, potato poke for dinner. Bean cake lunch. Those all sound like perfectly fine food, so at least they're feeding them. This week shifts. Case of emergency, contact the physician on duty immediately. Tuesday, white it out. The rest is blank. Did they only make it 3 days into the week before this place went under? What happened?
Look! There's someone over there! Good idea. Let's approach him slowly without alarming him.
Wait. You're...
Is it a ghost?
He can't speak, and his eyes are unfocused. But he looks too young to be anyone's grandfather. Also, why is he the only one here?
Didn't expect to see him here.
Who is he?
You know him?
He's Razak,
a senior of mine at the academia.
He's a scholar too? Is he the kind that holds up in a forest and mumbles stuff about training?
No. And that's the problem.
He's not the type to go crazy. So why did he go crazy?
Rzak was never involved in any of those things. He never trained in the forest, let alone reach Satyavada life. Leaving that question aside for the moment, him being here alone means that we might be too late. Looks like they've already taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Rzak here. Perhaps they simply didn't have time to come back for him.
That looks like a blood of a dragon, a body.
There are drag marks on the ground. They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing a cart that was loaded with something heavy.
Okay, that's one way to look at those.
With people?
That is one possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry, as if they were afraid of being caught. In their haste, they failed to notice Rzak hiding in a corner.
But he's standing out in the open. How is that a hidden corner?
The symptoms are identical. Looks like we found living proof.
Huh? Why do you say that?
Allow me to jog your memory. Recall your time at Port Ormos. Don't you think his symptoms look familiar?
So, yeah, so he didn't go mad by touching the tree. He went mad by touching one of the knowledge capsules.
Oh, now that you mention it, they're acting the same way.
Correct. The academia is behind all of this. It isn't difficult to deduce their rationale. First, the academia spread a false rumor of the Scarlet King's resurrection, emphasizing the role of the village keepers, the mad scholars who were exiled to Aru village. These rumors were all the persuasion that the radicals needed, and those based in Aru village leapt into action. Unbeknownst to them, of course, through rounding up the scholars, they were actually helping the academia. As well as being able to exploit the radicals for their own ends, this scheme has one further advantage to the academia. All the risks and responsibilities are offloaded onto the Scarlet King's followers.
And it's, disposing of loose ends.
Life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since the Scarlet King's death all those years ago. Beneath the surface, feelings of desperation are widespread. Many would give everything they have for the prospect of something better. Anyone looking to exploit that for their own ends simply needs to make a few empty promises. Even if complications arise, people will see that those involved are all followers of the Scarlet King, and look for no further explanation than differences of belief. A deep-seated mistrust of the desert and everyone in it by the rest of Sumeru will make sure of that.
Yeah, they're drawing lines. The academia is making it... They're making their own civil war. Making it to where the civilians are supposed to think the desert dwellers are the ones being bad, when it's the academia being bad.
The notion of an academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds. It may seem like a simple strategy, but it is able to work wonders under Sumeru's current circumstances.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's in line with the village chief's theory, too. But there's still one very important question. Wasn't it the academia that brought the scholars to Aru village in the first place? Why does it want them back now?
Throughout this process, one thing has changed. The scholars' identity. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics. After that, they were exiles. And finally, they become missing persons. An exile is still patently a living, breathing human being. But when someone becomes a missing person, that is brought into question. If you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly happened to them. That makes missing people an ideal resource.
Resource? For what exactly?
Human experimentation, Paimon. Human experimentation.
One possibility is that the information in their brains could be extracted into knowledge capsules.
Extracted? You mean, canned knowledge comes from people's brains?
Well, I mean, divine capsules come from the knowledge of gods.
With the technology of the Sumeru Academia, it's entirely possible.
And the Akasha already takes our information
Perhaps the
and
process
uploads it
cost
to the
them great
main
suffering,
server.
which is why they cry out in the dead of night, when no one is watching them.
So, the human brain... Nope, nah, Hyman doesn't want to think about this.
I'm the Academia scribe, after all. I'm familiar with their projects. Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted from his mind. But something went wrong in the process. Or perhaps his curiosity got the better of him, and he used such a capsule for himself.
Hyman's a little confused. Can they just use anyone's brain?
Whatever is in the tree that they are touching when they meditate.
The look on your face tells me you've realized the answer.
Academia needs people who have been exposed to the divine consciousness.
That's right. To some scholars, gaining knowledge about the gods is their entire life's pursuit. Extracting canned knowledge is just one of the extreme measures they turn to. However, I can't help but wonder, what do they seek to gain from divine knowledge? The Academia is going out of their way to look for forbidden knowledge, but what is their ultimate goal?
To feed it as an energy source to the Baldir so he becomes a god.
I've spent quite some time trying to analyze the contents of the divine knowledge capsule, but to no avail. It seems like my way of thinking is too different from theirs.
You mean you're not even slightly interested in getting your hands on this forbidden stuff?
Well, I mean, he doesn't have to turn anyone into a god, so why does he need it?
All scholars seek to expand the horizons of knowledge, but I'm not particularly interested in gods, so I don't share their degree of zealotry.
Yeah. You know, there's someone we should introduce you to. His name is Dainsleif. He also doesn't like the gods.
Extracting information from people as if they were lifeless objects? If this is the direction of academic progress, then the Academia may as well shut its doors.
Sounds like you're really against all this.
Well, yeah. Are you not against this, Paimon? This is pretty bad.
Of course. The Academia's actions run contrary to their rules. Whether it be academics or knowledge, everything has its boundaries. If those lines are crossed, the rules and order that govern everything in the world will be destroyed. This matter needs to be corrected. Just like fixing a typo in a book.
Wait, didn't you step in to help because you felt sympathy for those poor people?
Not to be callous, but no. My criteria are a little more restrictive than that. There is no shortage of suffering in Sumeru, and the same can be said for the rest of Teyvat as well. What do you plan to do about that? Save every last person?
We will try. We have been trying. That's why we help every little side quest.
Probably not. Paimon's not sure.
You can say that. Simply put, I don't blindly place my faith into strength or heroism. I do what I want. The divine knowledge capsule is something I want to investigate in full. That doesn't mean I'm willing to take action for the sake of a few strangers.
So the first ad break's gonna start in about a minute. I'm gonna try and get through this cutscene before it pops up, but if not, I'll wait until the ad break ends. I've shortened them to 1 minute ad breaks, so hopefully it's not as bad of a number of trailers or commercials. Might make for a good ally.
Paimon's been wanting to say this for a while. There are a lot of bad guys in the Academia, but you're not one of them. You're their weirdo.
You're their weirdo.
You're probably right. Though I must say, I quite enjoy this feeling of being the odd one out. Uniqueness is also an asset, is it not?
I mean, why not? Makes you unique. Makes you interesting.
Wow, that's a great way to think about it. Paimon's really impressed. If only Miss Shani had a similar mindset. her life would definitely be a lot easier.
I'm just a more likable person than her in general. There's nothing more to it than that.
What do we do with the crazy guy?
Leave him here. Let's take him with us. We'll work out our next step after we return to Aru village.
Smart. Okay, so I'm gonna cut the trailer. Commercials are about to start. I'll wait here. Oh, I got a key. Huh. Ad's almost done. Alright, are you guys back from ad break? Hope so. Just sort of been wandering down here. I picked up a key. I'm gonna use it to try and open the cabinet up here that we walked past earlier. Yes. What's in it? Then books, hospital documents, medical records, and financial statements. Boring, yeah. We went finding a secret key and we found nothing. At least those have cabbages. Maybe it'll lead to treasure. Patient name, farmer. Week 9. Comatose. The doctors whited out. That's concerning. Started to manage to keep wait, hold on. Replacement treatment. They replaced a limb. The new limb's function. Oh, that's messed up. New left arm. Next phase, blank, objective. Oh no, why, what, something's happening to the organs? Hold on. Yeah, okay. So, person one died and couldn't even be recycled for materials, quote unquote. Yeah, this is some messed up human experimentation stuff in here. So yeah, that's getting pretty dark in there. Uh, Basically 2 and 3 decided to stop the process at stage 2 because they were improving in health, and they were killed because they're listed as materials going forward. So they didn't get to leave the experiment. And then 4 was doing all right, and it's because they're using the God's Blood stuff from the manga, trying to control how much of it needs to be injected into a person to lessen the elemental content of the person, which is what causes the Elazar. Which, I mean, being able to inject God's blood into a person without killing the person, it's useful information if you want to make a person into a god slowly. So, that's not good. Yeah, you guys don't want to understand what I just read. You don't want to understand that. No, that is not what you should take from this paper. Okay. If we hear something, we'll investigate the ruins, but that is not what any of that paper meant. Oh dear. Well, we'll just let Paimon think it was about underground rivers. Ignorance is bliss in this situation. Just gonna leave her in the unknown.
We're back!
You must be tired. You should rest and take some water.
What's the situation?
Who's this?
Oh, so he's not one of your crazy people.
Unfortunately, somebody who's too young to take on the role of Isak's grandfather. Nevertheless, he's one of the people we're trying to find.
So, at one point in time, the abandoned Elazar hospital served as the Academia's site for extracting divine cant knowledge.
Yep, pretty much.
Their plan must have been implemented at some point before we arrived at Aru village, since divine cant knowledge has been in circulation for a while now. Yet, they fled once we were headed to the village, almost as if they knew we were on their trail. Why is that?
Do we have a leak? A mole? Who knows? Who told?
Why is that?
Who
We may have a
told?
mole in our midst.
I knew it. We have a mole.
One of us could be secretly revealing our whereabouts to the Academia.
Almost like the person who has one of their earpieces on at all times. Who could it possibly
Are
be?
our friendships that shallow?
Looks like none of you have realized wherein lies the issue. Cyno, you're the reason why they can predict our movements.
Why would it be him? He has nothing.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Choose your next words very carefully.
Because he will fight you. He will jump across this table and fight you.
It is simply a logical inference. I have my reasons.
You're being sus again. Like for a minute there, you started seeming like someone we could trust, and then you go right back into being suspicious again. Every time, man. You have a bonding moment, and the minute we go into public with you, you start being suspicious.
So what you're saying is, Cyno's the mole.
And you're pointing fingers because it's actually you.
Interesting. And here I thought you were the most suspicious
See?
one, Al-Haytham, since you were always acting alone.
I know. You have a point, but I realized something as we were returning from the hospital. Cyno isn't like any of us.
Rude.
What are you trying to say?
Do you still remember who you are, General Mahamatra?
But I don't have...
As a Matra, you are no doubt privy to certain kinds of information. Before you can take action against someone, you are required to have all the facts available, including the less than savory details. Simply put, the Academia has traditionally allowed you access to a wealth of sensitive information. Knowing their modus operandi, wouldn't you expect them to take precautions against you?
They put a tracker on you. They put a tracker on him and they just know where he
If
is.
you want to raise a vicious wolf, you need to make sure that you can avoid its bite.
Rude.
The Academia is monitoring me?
It's not that simple. The Academia has eyes all over Sumeru, but they have a special protocol for dealing with you.
Because they made you a little too powerful and realized they did that. And you know, keeping a handle on their weapons.
Every so often comes a Nyagarbaha Day. On this day, the Academia enters new information into the Akasha through knowledge capsules. I remember seeing the thick notebook next to the control panel once. Its contents were all about the General Mahamatra, his activities throughout the day, preferred methods of enacting judgment, everything.
Oh, rude! They've been spying on me this whole time? And you're only just now telling me that there was a binder filled with shit I did every day? God, that was a boring binder.
You're saying that the Academia entered my information into the Akasha too? But what's the point in doing that? My actions aren't important enough to be added into the Akasha.
The Akasha is capable of computation.
Calculations. It now knows you. It knows your thought patterns and what you would do in this situation.
The Akasha's algorithms are entirely capable of predicting your movements using the data entered. When you would depart, the route you would follow, your destination. It knew all of this.
It knew if you found out and went rogue, you would go here first. Which, I mean, there's not many other places he could have gone,
It
so...
predicted my every move.
The Academia has been watching you longer than you think.
So that's how it is. Cyno adheres to his principles so strongly that he's actually a thorn in their side.
Always. Always.
Tenacity of will and steadfast faith are worthless to the Academia. They need scholars who are easily pliable and mindlessly go after anything they can profit from. Cyno, don't take it to heart. This just proves how much of a trustworthy ally you are. No. This means they can read my every move, so... I'll just go and do crazier things, and it can't expect that, right?
They escaped because of me.
Don't blame yourself. It's not like any of us would have known.
I have an idea. If they predicted my movements, then I might be able to guess where they went.
You know, beat them at the rock, paper, scissors game. Pick the move after the next move to beat their move.
Whoa, you bounce back fast.
There is always an opportunity for safety after danger passes.
Oh, so that's how it is! Paimon gets it now! If the Academia is trying to avoid Cyno, then the safest place would be... Yep, that's right!
One step behind him. So if he's ran off into the desert, we're just gonna move him back behind the line into Sumeru.
They'll want to proceed in the direction opposite of where I'm going.
Which is back into
Let's
Sumeru.
go.
There's also something I want to investigate.
Let's go, guys! After him! Please, wait! I want to go too!
No!
You want to go too? If so, you have to promise you'll stay safe.
This is not something we should bring the child along with. Oh my
I
god.
want to find Grandpa. I promise I'll be careful and not cause any trouble.
Everyone, I leave him in your hands.
Yay!
Darn.
Let's go! Remember to pack some food with you! Paimon feels like we're missing someone, though.
Who are we forgetting? Supposed to follow Cyno, and we have Altham. I think Daya's coming with, and the small child, and Candace is staying here. That's the head count. So, I mean... Okay, but that's not back this way. That's out into everything. That seems like the wrong direction to go. Come on, let me get the open. There we go. Okay, so that's gonna trigger a cutscene. The ads are gonna start in 1 minute. I'll just keep exploring around here. Oh, there's a time trial. Yeah, I'll do that while the ad runs. And then we'll be ready to go into the cutscene when you guys get back from the ad. Should only be 1 minute after all. There's also a ceiling. Yay!
I'll keep this close.
Go chase that ceiling while everyone's still in the There's one more. That's what I got. Celia went up here. Welcome back from the ad break, guys. Gonna follow this Celia, then go straight back to story stuff. Ta-da!
I'll keep this close.
Come on. There we go. And there's a Cyno cutscene.
So, where do we go from here?
Yes. After leaving the village, we should head straight toward the desert.
Just gonna follow you then.
I know the desert like the back of my hand.
Is that because you play here a lot?
Yep. One time, Grandpa almost got lost in the desert, but I was the one who brought him back.
There's something here.
Yeah, I'm like, there's something green on the ground.
What's this?
It's buried in the sand. Looks like we'll need to roll up our sleeves and do some work.
The Paimon thought running around everywhere was already enough work.
Now isn't it time for complaining?
Okay. So, we have to dig it out? Whatever's down there, it looks like it's buried really deep.
These are likely fragments of an Academia-developed device, something akin to a headset.
Yeah, to extract the knowledge for the knowledge capsules.
Looks like there were more than one village keeper. They must have been escorted this way, because there are device fragments scattered around here. Let's split up and search the area. Chances are that we'll find other things nearby.
We should also smash this one. Another device.
Is this what we're searching for? Looks kind of scary.
This is definitely a device used to extract divine knowledge.
How did it end up buried in the sand? That can't have been part of the plan. They must have been attacked along the way.
Wait, what?
Grandpa, I hope you're okay.
Don't worry.
Maybe we don't bring the
Grandpa's gonna
kid.
be fine.
Because if we find the bodies, we probably shouldn't have the kid there. That's gonna cause trauma.
Razak didn't display any signs of starvation or dehydration, which means that they left fairly recently.
We should be able to catch up.
One more thing. Given that the device had been entirely covered by sand, I believe the attack must have happened prior to the sandstorm.
Let's keep going. They can't have gone far.
Ugh, but running on sand is so tiring.
Shut up, Paimon.
But you're flying, aren't you, Paimon? Is flying over sand tiring too?
That is a valid question.
Ugh, of course it is.
Oh, Paimon. No, I'm just gonna ignore whatever we're supposed to be doing. Come on, man. Serious. Their wall? What the fuck? That's why. Gonna have to restart this whole thing because they're so stupid. Yeah, there's a platform right there. Boom.
Is this an answer from this world?
So much harder than it needed to be. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy. You can keep going. I'm sorry. Made you wait for me.
Voices, over there. It sounds like an argument.
Ooh.
Whoa, you have really good ears.
Don't get any closer. They'll notice us.
Dia's talking with the Eremites? Very interesting. Let's listen in.
If you had informed me sooner, there'd be plenty of room for us to...
You're one of us. We would never lie.
Scholars. You don't know as much as I do. Need me to...
I knew it. That's our Dia.
Tia? Why would you?
She's going undercover. She probably already told Candace she was gonna do this.
Tia!
Oh my god, you're gonna ruin it all. This is why we don't bring the kid.
Hey, what are you doing?
This is why we don't bring the
Did you
kid.
say you'd help me find Grandpa? What?
Well, look who's here. Ain't that something?
This complicates things.
You've betrayed Aru village?
It is... This is why we don't bring the kid. This is this right here.
So, this is the great General Mahamatra. Dear, you'd be better off as my assistant than hanging around with this motley crew. Seen for yourself. I have the means and methods. and my ideals are far more admirable than theirs.
I'm not the type that's easily swayed, Raman. You of all people should know that.
Wait, what's going on, Dia? Whose side are you on here?
Paimon.
Shut it, Paimon.
Thank you.
It doesn't matter. Whichever side you pick, nothing can deter us from the grand mission of resurrecting the Scarlet King. Once our Lord of Old returns to this land, we will have a new beginning.
Face the facts, Raman. It's not gonna happen. You should understand that more than anyone. Have all your years as a merc taught you nothing about placing hopes in a ruler?
I'm a desert dweller and a proud follower of the Scarlet King. Whether I live by the edge of the sword or in peaceful comfort, my soul will always carry this conviction.
It's not too late yet. The village mad scholars aren't gonna bring the Scarlet King back to life.
You don't understand, my dear lady. Pursuing our faith is our purpose in life. Even if the chance of success is 1 in a million, we must be willing to give everything we have.
Even if it'll expose you to the academia? Even if they end up disbanding the Eremites? Your Eremites, which you've worked so hard for all these years?
Yes. We've waited a long time for this day to come. The sun and the moon no longer shine here. All you see now is cracks in this desiccated land. But fate has finally dealt me a hand to play against the Academia. With these scholars in our custody, we'll stomp the Academia's forces and fight our way beyond the wall of Samiel.
Ridiculous. Think about it. The Academia controls the entirety of Sumeru. Your powers are negligible in comparison. If you still don't believe me, then try asking these 2 men. They're also against the Academia, but neither of them are as arrogant as you are.
They look more like pawns of the Academia to me. Why would I listen to anything the people of Greater Lord Rukkhadevaka have to say?
Rukkhadevaka?
Filthy
Is you?
traitors. Your god abandoned all honor and betrayed the Scarlet King. We desert dwellers will never trust the likes of you.
It's impossible to communicate with someone so hostile. Perhaps we should.
Do you really believe that by kidnapping the scholars, you'll be able to negotiate with the Academia? These people have no value as bargaining chips. But I could be persuaded to take their place as your next hostage.
Because he knows he can break out and just kick all their asses.
These scholars were exiled from the Academia. I, on the other hand, am their current scribe, and will be a much greater asset to you.
Wait, you can't be serious.
So, you want to trade places with the hostages, do you?
Precisely. Any wise person would gladly accept my offer.
What are you thinking? What if they decide to kill you instead?
Why would they? They'd make no profit.
Well, that would be bad luck for me. However, I'd get the chance to observe the scholars. Perhaps even find out the truth.
Think you can talk me over with that confident look of yours?
I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm using this as a means of joining forces against the Academia.
You are the scribe. What do you have against the Academia?
Not all desert dwellers believe in the Scarlet King, and the same applies to the Academia. Why must all knowledge seekers approve of the Academia's way of doing things?
You Academia scum. Every last one of you is nothing but a hypocrite, just like everyone else on the other side of that wall. I've made myself clear enough. I won't listen to another word from the Dendro Archon's people.
Not so fast. I'll hate them. Do you stand by everything you just said?
I never make empty promises.
You know you're making a dangerous decision, right?
I do.
Good. Raman, hear me out. These people are my friends. Maybe you can't take the followers of the Dendro Archon at their word, but what about me? Do you trust me?
We've known each other for years. Of course I do.
In that case, I'm willing to vouch for their honesty with my right arm.
Yep, there it is. She thought you can just cut it off. If they're lying and bullshit, just cut off.
Come on, Rahman, don't be a coward. If you're serious about taking on the Academia, you need to steel yourself. You can't be afraid.
Huh. An arm from the Flame Mane. You've piqued my interest. What if you refuse to oblige? What should I do then? No one's a fool here, dear. We're mercs. And mercs don't tend to live long unless they have their wits about them.
You're not wrong, but this is different. I promised my friends that we'd bring back the village keepers together.
Let's do it right here then. Give me your right arm as proof of your resolve.
Like legit?
Don't listen to him! He's not even trying to negotiate! He just wants to make things more difficult!
That's fine.
Are you crazy?
So I think it's a prosthetic. Starting to think it might be a prosthetic. I'm hoping it is because this is Genshin and we can't have characters actually cutting their arms off.
We came here to save lives. One arm for that many people is still a pretty good deal if you ask me. Rahman, I'm holding up my end of the deal here. You'd better not let me down.
I wouldn't trust his end of the deal.
Sure. Go ahead and cut off her right arm.
No, they're just gonna legit try and cut off her.
What are you gonna do? Think of something!
You don't have to go this far.
That's not for you to decide.
Do it!
Tia,
run! So, like,
Stop!
What's wrong? Can't do it?
Flame Mane, you and I are both desert folk. Cutting off your arm is no different than cutting off my own fingers. Where's the sense in cutting my own kin to pieces? You've shown me that you're serious. Go on now, take your friends and leave. Meet me in the desert at noon tomorrow.
so no, they're just gonna cut her arm off. Fun.
Phew. I was really counting on him not going through with it.
Tia! That was crazy! Have you all lost your minds? What if he'd actually cut your arm off?
Then I just have to hold my claymore with my left arm.
Please don't do that ever again.
Okay, I'm sorry. But sometimes when you're out on a limb, you gotta double down to seal the deal, you know?
Don't ever make a promise like that again. I can deal with the likes of them. If it came down to it, you would not lose to them either.
I don't doubt it, Cyno. But this is about more than me and them. There's a lot more where they came from. Even if we got rid of one bunch of radicals, there are others out there. Wiping them out would do more harm than good.
As you wish.
I'm sorry, Dia. I should have stayed put
Yeah.
and listened. I should have trusted
Yeah.
you.
Go home!
It's okay. I promised you I'd help find your grandpa, so I'll do whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes? You just might be scholar material.
Huh? Are you serious?
The Eremites once said that I was a lunatic. Perhaps a little madness is essential to be successful in research.
Perhaps you have to be a little crazy.
Why does it feel like he's using his praise for me as an excuse to brag about himself?
I think he's just
Okay,
stating the truth.
let's get moving. We should head back to the village and rest up. Today was just a trial run. Noon tomorrow is gonna be the hard part.
What are the stakes? There's no way of knowing. Right? And wait until 6 to 8 a.m. the following morning. But that's gonna happen after the ad break. Because there's another one coming in 30 seconds. I'm gonna try and get the Dendro Oculus up here.
Stay safe. Don't get hurt.
Ad is in progress at 40 seconds. Is it not up here? I was sure. I was positive. Welcome back from the ad break. I climbed all the way up here during the break. Try and get a Dendro Oculus. That is not up there. It's down here in the tower. Of course it is. Oh well. Let's do the time travel. Tomorrow at 6 a.m., right? Is what they want. Gather at the entrance of the village. There's everybody else. Why are we bringing the goddamn kit? Can we just both just keep him home, please? Also, there are not walls for them to lean against, but these two are still trying to be antisocial on different corners of the road.
Looks like we have everyone here. Isak, are you sure you want to come with us?
No! I'm sure he doesn't.
I'll watch from a safe distance. Dia, I want to be there to bring Grandpa home.
You're gonna find a corpse.
Okay, let's go.
Dia, wait.
What's the matter?
I heard that you were quite reckless yesterday. No more of that today, understood? Or I'll be very upset with you.
Oh, you'll have to sleep on the guest couch. Wouldn't that be a shame? That would be such a shame to have to sleep on the guest couch instead of where you have been. But you better be good.
Fine.
Go to the agreed location. Oh my god. All the way. We're dragging a kid out here? Why? I'm so glad I have some of the teleport waypoints open. Gives me a head start in all of this walking. Imagine if I didn't, man. Imagine if I kept going the other day. That would have sucked for you guys, all this running. Past the pyramid, from all the way over there. Through all this sand. nice of them to realize it was such a long walk. And just to give us gliding points. Oh, there's the meetup. Let's see how this goes. They also have only one scholar. Or one crazy person.
Huh. They got here before us.
Of course.
Uh-oh. Is it because Paimon overslept by 5 minutes and held everyone up?
You didn't have to admit to that.
Absolutely. Well, you brought fewer people than I imagined.
Bring him over.
Grandpa! Why is there only one of them?
Rahman, I've always thought of you as a man at his word. What's this about?
It's a one-for-one exchange. Sounds fair, don't you think? And let me put it this way. Agreeing to any kind of deal with the Dendro Archon's people is already a huge compromise on my part. Don't you think you've asked enough?
You're changing the deal.
You stay right there!
Oh no, are we doing combat? Oh, we're doing cutscene. Oh! Oh, there she goes. Ah, yeah!
What do you think you're doing?
Grandpa!
Don't you see this blade here? You coward. Why are your hands shaking? Wait a second. It's a earthquake!
Dendro! And we're going under. Going underground.
Paimon's dizzy.
Everyone here? Okay, that's all of our people. Where are the other people?
This day's going just great.
What a nuisance.
The sand dune collapsed. I saw an energy field. The village keeper protected us. It glowed green with dendro. Just like you said, it may well have been the remains of Lesser Lord Kusanali's power inside the scholar's body.
You finally believe me.
The present one.
Grandpa? Grandpa? Oh no. He's getting confused again.
Hey, look around you.
Did there used to be a temple here?
At some point.
It seems that when the sand dune collapsed, it exposed these underground structures. The
How
symbols
convenient.
on the gate belong to the Scarlet King's civilization. This structure must be ancient. Over time, the sandstorms completely buried it and left it in the state we see now.
Yup.
It could have been an underground palace in the distant past.
Oh, a miracle. Praise the Scarlet King!
What's he doing here? And his men too?
They live.
They must have fallen down here with us. Pretty lucky if you ask me. Most of them seem in really bad shape. Except for him. He got off lightly.
Mind your head.
No, this isn't the time for conflict. Our exalted lord has shown us the way to his sacred palace.
He's not actually gonna go in there, is he?
As it happens, I want to take a look inside too.
We'll just let him go first. He'll trigger a booby trap, he'll die, that'll be it.
Don't you think it's curious? 1 minute, Lesser Lord Kusanali's power protects us from harm, and the next, remnants of the Scarlet King's civilization appear. Two major deities are vying to showcase their power to us. It would be a shame not to witness them both.
Paimon thought you weren't interested in guides.
Indeed. In my view, gods are just a higher form of living being. Or creature, you could say. New discoveries are always worth investigating. Whether they have anything to do with gods is neither here nor there.
Raman, what are you gonna do about your men?
I'll just let them lay here. The Scarlet King will take care of his people. Right now, I'm going inside.
I mean, there's nothing to attack them down here, so why not? Leave the kid out here with the crazy man. Leave the knocked out dudes over there, and we'll go explore. Okay, and I want cryo. That means they don't care about Dendra. So I'm gonna toss Rosaria on the team as my crew.
Sooner we're done, the better.
Now let Cyno keep hanging out. If we lose, we lose. I'll rebuild the team if I have to, but...
It's full of life here. This defies comprehension. It looked completely desolate from the outside. Yet, it flows with energy inside.
Almost like it's bigger on the inside.
There's so many plants. It's so pretty.
Sir Raman.
Huh? Me?
Do you see another Raman here?
Are you mocking me? What do you mean?
Interpret it however you want. But there's something I'd like to draw your attention to. While this structure is clearly left over from the Scarlet King's civilization, the energy that flows in here is that of the Dendro Archon.
Awkward.
Whatever you say. It's not like I have a vision.
There's nothing to be angry about. Think of this as an academic journey.
It does seem kinda strange. If that's true, then we might have to explore this whole area to find an explanation.
Oh darn. We have to explore? What a shame. Hope there's like a chest somewhere. Oh, there's obelisks. I'm gonna go touch them. Yeah. Okay, that one's glowing now. Look up at the hall as a mortal and listen to King Deshret's holy guidance. So King Deshret has to be the center. Oh. No. So both have to be looking up the hall. Oh. Place your foot forward. Look respectfully at the pharaoh at the distance. Should have known that one. Activate the elevator. Down we go. Oh, there he is. So the bird-headed god. It's supposed to be Deshret. Oh, is that just to call it up and down? Cool. Cabbages.
Ha! Everybody stand back! Yeah!
Solidify! Nowhere to run! Order guide you.
Let's light it up!
Surrender!
Huh? Judgment!
Gather! Yeah!
Adventure time! I'm going in! Yeah! Yeah! Let's light it up! You can't run! Kick!
Just keep an eye out for chests. Like the one right here.
Nowhere to run!
Yeah! Let's light it up! Teamwork is dreamwork! Shiver! Judgment!
Through me, justice is served! You stand condemned! Guilty! You stand condemned!
Very nearly lost him. Holy cow.
Solidify! I will have order!
You can't run! Yeah. Ha. I'm going in!
Gather!
There goes that one. Then there's just this little guy left.
Yeah!
Give me the chest. Cracks in the wall. Okay. Ooh, that's cool. Different parts of the wall open. No. Can we open that part of the wall again? Like this chest was mocking me.
You can't run! Let's light it up! Huh? Teamwork is dreamwork!
Futile! Your sins weigh upon your soul! Your penance is due! Guilty! You stand condemned! Stabilize!
Yeah!
There you are.
Let's light it up! You can't run!
Surrender!
Boom. Okay. Am I supposed to go up the elevator, I guess? Yeah, there's nothing here. Except for another picture of him. The elevator button. But the elevator's already here. Just go up. Oh, ad starts in 30 seconds. So I'm gonna wait before going farther into the tomb. Other than doing this little fight thing.
Nowhere to run! Gather! Order guide you!
Huh? Going in!
Surrender! Judgment is upon you! Guilty! You stand condemned! Guilty! Well played. Solidify! Stabilize!
Let's light it!
Nowhere to run! Gather!
You can't run!
Futile!
Okay, that'll be done in a few seconds. Welcome back from the ad break. While you guys were gone, I just fought these guys in here and cleared them out. And this is the chest they gave me. Yay! And I also noticed while fighting that there's arrows right here. So it's a message. After 6 days infiltrating the temple, finally understand priest's parlor tricks. The elevator will descend to the ground. Get on top of it before it starts ascending again to reach the dome. Forbidden ground ahead. Mortals shall not pass. It's just to mess with us. Ooh, we're gonna go up to... activated to go up there? This one, or is it? Oh, there's a button right here. Okay. Aha. It's a box. I see. Okay.
Adventure time.
Same places. Hey guys.
Solidify! This is order.
Everybody stand back! Yeah! Punishment! Let's light it up!
Your sins weigh upon your soul. You stand condemned. Guilty. My judgment.
Ooh, I lost him.
Has failed. I will have order.
Teamwork is dreamwork! Judgment!
Gather!
Let's light it up! You can't run! Yeah.
Stabilize.
Okay. I'm gonna guess these guys also have to point at the, Wait, no. That one's right, and that one's right. Cool. I'm gonna guess we get on the elevator to go the rest of the way up. No, it's taking us back down. Oh, it's taking us down, 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 down. The secret down fourth level.
Oh, now that's a sight to see. The Scarlet King's splendor surrounds us.
There's so much vegetation here. It's different than what I expected.
Sure are a lot of plants for a desert.
That's what I call divine providence of the Scarlet King.
Oh, that's a portal, guys. There we go. Oh wow, we found a tree. Yay.
It's getting brighter. Oh, it looks so beautiful.
Wait, what's that?
It's the head of Anubis.
A load of flowers. And it looks like there's something among them.
Looks like a tomb. Which is weird, because all of the stuff has been the bird head. So why is there Anubis's tomb?
These are Scarlet King runes.
They left something behind. Yes. It's an elegy written in an ancient script.
What does it say?
Here lies our faithful priest Kasala. His wisdom is a miracle among the people, deserving of high praise and admiration.
You can read ancient Scarlet King script?
You can read hieroglyphics? Yeah.
Of course.
You just bullshit
Every
it.
student needs to master at least 20 languages before they graduate.
He's not serious, right?
There are 20 languages? I thought everyone was speaking the same language right now. I thought Tibet only had one standard language and then a few older languages. Are you telling me they've all been speaking different languages this whole time? I'm not surprised. I'm just surprised it's not come up before now.
There's still something off about this place. The elemental energy here is too concentrated. The scent of life. Is it trying to tell us something?
Is this it?
Analyzing.
There seems to be a hidden message among these skeletal remains. Excellent. There's a device from the Scarlet King's civilization in this gravesite. I'll transmit the information over and project it for everyone to see.
Isn't sharing knowledge against the Academia's rules?
Yes. However, under the circumstances, I'd prefer you to see this for yourself. You'll understand after watching it.
Is it a hologram message?
civilization is born of knowledge, but so too can knowledge be its demise. A disaster caught us unaware. It was knowledge that did not belong to this world. The Scarlet King brought this forbidden knowledge into our world, and it quickly spread like a plague. People's minds were filled with crazed whispers. Dark gray scales spread across their bodies. Even the land was stripped of its vigor. Only a desperate, deathly silence remained. Were it not for greater Lord Rukkhadevaka from the forests, the damage would have been irreversible. She summoned the priests to build temples and infused into them the divine power of life. The disaster was miraculously tempered, and the embers of our civilization were preserved in Aru village. Alas, the miracle could not last. As long as forbidden knowledge continued to exist, it would forever blight this world. In the end, the proud king of the desert, my eternal lord, chose to sacrifice himself. I have spent my whole life since guarding one of these many temples. But now, my duty is coming to an end. As I close my eyes for the final time, the sight of that noble deity will appear in my vision once more. In helping the Scarlet King to eradicate forbidden knowledge, she exhausted her strength, and her form became that of a small child. How strange. Now that I think of her, I no longer have any fear of death, for I sense that the spirit of life will abide with me during my eternal sleep. Children of the desert, cling no longer to past grievances, but hold tight to the memory of this act of benevolence.
What was that?
That was a very cool animated cutscene. 2D animators going all out.
The priest's memories.
No, impossible.
Greater Lord Rukkhadevaka. So the former Dendro Archon and the Scarlet King were never enemies at all.
But this doesn't make any sense. The Dendro Archon's followers, they're clearly...
Was that the former Dendro Archon? He became so tiny in the end.
You're being so mean to Kusanali right now. So yeah, she's a short, small child of only 300, but she has a lot to live up to. Her mom was basically Gaia. So that was what killed her. Through life and death.
You might be distrustful of the Akasha, but there's no reason for you to doubt the Scarlet King's technology. You've just witnessed his priest's last words.
I've never heard about any of this before. The surviving followers of the Scarlet King all gathered in Aru village. Our god did not make mistakes. We refused to believe any of the rumors. The Scarlet King's death, the all but total annihilation of our civilization. It was all Greater Lord Rukkhadevaka's doing.
But she also died doing it.
We saw her as nothing more than a traitor, who stabbed us in the back in our moment of crisis. Just like us humans. Fighting, feuding, double-crossing each other to survive in the desert.
You were blinded by your prejudice.
If I hadn't seen this for myself, if I hadn't witnessed his last words with my own eyes, ears, and heart, how could I ever begin to accept this? The truth is so far from what I've always known. Am I really supposed to believe that after all these years, all this time seeking revenge, suddenly now my enemy is my savior?
Well, I mean, you can still hate the academia. They're still assholes. It's just not Greater Lord Rukkhadevaka's fault.
Rahman, that's enough. Give it a rest. You're starting to make a fool of yourself.
Dia, tell me, my Eremites and I, what are we even fighting for?
Hey, how you doing?
He's like, I need a moment. I'm gonna go stand over here and realize that my life is a lie. I need a moment.
I'll live. Thanks. I should probably go. Can't just stay here forever.
What's your next move gonna be?
Oh, I know what you're going to ask. I feel deeply ashamed of everything I've done. You'll get everything you're asking for.
All we want is the crazy people back. And, you know, not to kill them, to try and bring back King Deshret, who clearly is never coming back. There was no actual way to get him back.
Give me some time. After everything that's happened here today, somehow I need to explain it to the others.
It's not gonna be easy.
Well, I guess that's for me to deal with. Dia, this is where our camp's located. Make a note of it.
When would be a good time for us to go?
Tomorrow, I'll convince everyone that we're all on the same side. And I'll return every last one of your your village keepers. We'll share our other resources with you, too.
You seem to finally understand that our true enemy is the sages.
Yes. The gods never gave up on anyone. It's the people responsible for all of this that need to face the consequences of their actions.
Yeah, and those people were trying to keep you guys distracted with this whole Scarlet King nonsense.
That must have been rough. But he seems to have figured things out now.
Rahman's no fool. Being the leader of your own faction in the desert is no easy feat. It's too bad he was held back by his belief in the Scarlet King. But now that that's changed, I guess we have a few more people on our side.
The outcome, at least, is favorable.
We should get going too. Let's head back, have a proper meal, and a nice, long sleep. We'll need all our energy tomorrow.
Hey, Cyno, what are you doing?
Cyno, we're leaving!
Paimon, you are ruining his moment!
Stop yelling.
You are ruining his moment! God, I love it. I love it so much. We can't push it again and watch that cool cutscene a second time. That's a shame. So ads are going to start in another minute. I'm going to try and get out of here while that stuff happens. Or I could just teleport to the hideout. I mean, it's all the way over there. So yeah, I'll wander in the desert, collect some chests while you guys deal with that.
You can't run! Off we go! Let's light it up!
Surrender!
Get out of here! Adventure time! Judgment!
Nowhere to run!
Solidify!
Off we go!
Stabilize! Nowhere to run!
Let's light it up!
Yeah, that.
Surrender!
Judgment! Yeah.
There are a few interesting trinkets here.
And everyone watching the stream on YouTube afterwards doesn't have to watch the ads. So it can just keep watching me run around and do this stuff. Do you guys have a question? Yes.
Shiver! Let's light it up! Everybody stand back!
Solidify!
Nowhere to run!
Judgment!
Stabilize!
Surrender!
Yeah. And welcome back from the ad break.
That felt
Oh, that chest
pretty good.
probably shouldn't have opened because this guy's still alive. Oh well. Just collected a few chests from around this oasis. Now we're gonna go to the camp, or the hideout. But wait, there's also one of those over here. There's also a fishing spot. I should mark that. Fish hook. There we go. Ta-da! And then there's this big rock.
I suppose
You can't run!
Nowhere to run!
Let's light it up! Yeah!
There. All done. Here's their
Raman, we're here.
Everything's been arranged. Someone will bring the village keepers back to Aru village shortly.
I guess all I can say now is thanks for agreeing to help.
Ah, don't mention it. I think we can both agree you went to hell and back for it. But we share a common cause now. From here on out, we're allies.
And I'm cool with that.
Where are the perpetrators?
I'll bring you to them. Follow me.
Yeah, because they caught not only the village keepers, but the
So
ones who are
these are
escorting the
people who
village
kidnapped the
keepers.
village keepers.
You guys are busted.
Oh no, it's the scribe!
You guys are busted. Yeah, you scared of the scribe. Just to wait. Cyno is also here.
There's no need to yell. No one can help you now.
Oh.
We've been all over the desert trying to find you.
That's right.
Cyno.
General Mahamatra? No, no. Make it quick, please. Swift and painless.
No, we gotta get answers first. Then you die.
Whoa. The moment they set eyes on Cyno, they turn pale like they've seen a ghost.
Because he's that
You
tough.
should have known that I would be coming for you.
Just following orders. You know what I'm talking about, right? There's no way we could have done all this by ourselves.
No, not Cyno. He's gonna tear us limb from limb.
I could do worse.
Please have mercy.
Start talking. Otherwise, I'll have to resort to other methods.
So, your superiors have kept you quite busy recently. Why? What are they trying to accomplish?
They, wanted to extract canned knowledge.
We already knew that.
Don't play dumb. You know what I'm really asking. They extract divine canned knowledge. Then what?
I really don't know how to explain it.
Explain it anyway. We'll figure it out.
You better start talking or you'll be sorry.
You don't want to make things any more difficult for yourself, do ya?
Be my guest.
The sages are trying to make a new god, aren't they? Everyone else is like, what? This is new information. We didn't know this. It's like, oh, right. We only told Technari and then he went back to the forest.
Huh? That sure didn't sound like a fancy metaphor or anything. You're serious, aren't you?
How did you know?
There's no use hiding it now. Yes, you're right. The Academia is working on an important and potentially world-changing project. They are creating a new god. A god that will belong to them and to the people of Sumeru.
I don't believe you on either of those things. Scaramucci will belong to no one and work for no one. He'll just kill everything.
It may seem as if Sumeru's academics are thriving, but ever since the death of Greater Lord Rukkhadevaka, scholarly breakthroughs have been few and far between. The withering of Irminsul has been getting worse recently. The sages have tried everything they could think of, but nothing's worked. I'm always hearing them say things like, if only Greater Lord Rukkhadevaka was still with us.
Continue.
And then, someone from the Fatui showed up. They called him the Doctor. He brought a gnosis, and said he wanted to borrow the Academia's research facilities. The Doctor was previously expelled from the Academia. At first, the sages looked down at him in disdain. But when he said those words, everyone's expression changed. He asked them, do you wish to create a god?
This is what the arrogant ignorance at the extreme end of academia looks like.
First, the Academia spent a long time constructing a divine vessel, which was based on an exquisite humanoid puppet.
Scaramucci.
After that, they harvested dreams via the Sebzerus Festival Samsara, maximizing the Akasha's output. With the Doctor's help,
which is why they got to 90% and 80%. They were making a qubit that whole time.
They were able to use it to extract the power from the Gnosis and convert it into a divine core. Next, they decided that their new god needed to possess divine wisdom. For that to happen, they needed a huge quantity of divine canned knowledge.
It adds up.
But how do you determine whether the knowledge extracted is of divine origin?
Call it an educated guess? The Academia has been trying to figure out the exact source of the Scholar's madness for centuries, but to no avail. Nobody can explain the cause of this phenomenon. Surely you can see what that implies, Scribe Al-Haytham. If it's knowledge no mortal can comprehend, then it must be something only gods are able to decipher. In other words, it's the source of the God of Wisdom's omniscience and omnipotence.
It will be the Baldur.
You must have noticed by now. The Academia doesn't care about who their god is. It's the ability to exercise control over knowledge and wisdom that matters. It is as if they are cursed with a desire for omniscience and omnipotence that burns in their blood. Some organisms demonstrate phototaxis, and thus orient their entire lives in respect to sources of light. For the sages, their only source of hope is the existence of a deity who embodies the acme of wisdom.
Which is supposed to be Lesser Lord Kusanali, but they're jerks and ignore her.
This is but a form of phototaxis. For many scholars, the absence of a god of wisdom means stumbling in the darkness for the duration of their lives.
Because they
Then what
don't
does Lesser Lord Kusanali mean to you? Is she not a true god present in this world? If you already have a new god, why try to create another one?
Exactly.
From the beginning, the Academia has never treated her as a god. When the Academia first discovered Lesser Lord Kusanali, the newborn god of wisdom, the sages hoped that she would be as wise as Greater Lord Rukkhadevaka. But upon evaluation, they found that at the time, she possessed no more intelligence than any ordinary human child. The sages never had a ruder awakening. This forced them to accept that Greater Lord Rukkhadevaka had indeed passed away. Not to mention that Lesser Lord Kusanali's Gnosis had been used to power the Akasha this entire time. By herself, she has neither an Archon's raw power, nor the spectacular insight expected of a god of wisdom. Slowly but surely, people began to forget about her existence.
So, this is the path the sages have chosen.
Just to make a fake god.
All right, let's try to keep our cool. If everyone's in a bad mood, then let's change up our scenery. Rahman, give me a few men to help us escort the village keepers back to the village. And these two scholars, they're coming too.
Sure, as you wish.
We're gonna take them for more questioning. And we're going back to the village.
The village keepers you found have all been returned to their homes, and each one has a dedicated caregiver to look after them. The two new scholars are being kept under close supervision, too. Really great work, everyone.
The atmosphere is so heavy.
Well, I mean, we learned they're creating blasphemy, so...
Hey, say something. Stop spacing out.
I'm just thinking about how sad it is that Lesser Lord Kusanali gets treated like shit.
Come on, is there nothing left to talk about? In that case, let's all get some water and try to think about something else.
Or I can go fetch some snacks.
Was it a sleepover?
Oh, Paimon's so coming with you.
Of course.
Do you have any plans, Traveler?
Gods above, you're not talking about work, are you?
What the shit? Everything I know.
So you were still withholding some information?
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm a liar. Deo's relaxed. Cyno is firm and solid. Solemn expression. Step clear to him. Al-Haytham turns towards the crowd. He wants to listen too. After that, the whole story comes out. All the experiences, feeling secrets shared freely with everyone.
Even though we lived through all of this firsthand, it still feels super surreal to hear you talk about it again.
It's everything we experienced so far in Sumeru.
What a whirlwind of a story. Felt like I was holding my breath the whole time.
So yeah, we just skipped through all of it.
It seems like there will be more issues to face in the days ahead than I had anticipated.
Still, now's a good time to make our next move. Now that Rahman's joined us, we'll be an even stronger team.
It's time to make a plan.
Indeed. These events are a flagrant transgression of the rules in every sense. We cannot allow it to continue.
So, everyone, are we on the same page?
Crush the sages and rescue our god. That is our ultimate goal.
No matter what lies ahead.
Let's brainstorm a little more about what other resources we can draw on.
I have at least one Archon on speed dial if I still have that Apple phone from the Apple Archipelago. Yeah, I have Venti on speed dial. Zhongli owes us money. Always fun when the god of Mora owes us Mora. And we're the only reason Raiden Shogun has left her room in the last, like, 5 centuries. So maybe she'll come over for a play date. So we have 3 Archons. All of the Vision Wielders we've met so far. And whatever we find in Sumeru.
The next time we gather here, we must have a solid plan.
My solid plan is call the other Archons.
Yep, it'll work out for sure.
I still think we should just call the other Archons to come help. That's the whole point, right? Okay, so the quest is over? That's it? Next time we come back, we're gonna have plans?
Don't rush. This is a big undertaking, and the planning and preparation for what lies ahead will no doubt take some time.
Gonna make me wait until 3.2 update.
Take it slowly. We need to make sure the plan is as effective as possible.
He's starting to read his book again. Hey, are you even listening?
Would you like me to lend you something to read?
No way. Your books aren't quite to Paimon's taste.
Paimon doesn't want to read a book on theoretical physics.
I was joking. I know my books are far too difficult for you, and I have no intention of lending them out.
Ugh, you're so annoying.
Hi, Candace.
You must let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Though I cannot leave Aru Village, I can't help but feel stirred when I see the looks in your eyes. I've never felt as roused as this when fighting alone in the past. I suppose this must be the power of camaraderie.
This is what happens when you have friendship. There's Cyno. There's the boy.
In the past, I never imagined that even the gods could suffer from hardship. If we can find a way to change all of this, will this nation become a better place?
Hopefully. That is the end goal, yes. Hey,
The past few days have been some of the most challenging work I've ever taken on. And none of it'll earn me a single Mora. I can't believe it.
Look on the bright side, Dia. Maybe we'll get a huge reward after this is all over.
Well, I mean, Kusanali is not the Archon of Mora. That would be Zhongli, who can also not pay us for helping him ever. So we're not getting a reward.
You've got a point. Hey, what would you do if you woke up tomorrow with more money than you could ever spend?
I would be Zhongli and I'd go back to sleep.
Paimon would buy boatloads of tasty snacks.
That's it?
And maybe some tasty drinks as well?
How adorable. Well, here's to all our indulgent fantasies. If there's a chance they can come true, I'll give it my best shot. And here's hoping that everything we do from now on will change this world for the better.
By the way, you still remember your memory is fast.
She was a little girl. She has bad eyesight? Oh, did she mix you two up, or did... Because either she mixed you two up like you're twins, or she legitimately got lost in the village and went to the wrong house because she is partially blind. Which, I mean, is a thing with heterochromia. Oh shit, an ad's happening. Should probably wait for the ad to end before learning that Candace is slightly blind from her heterochromia. What the fuck? Okay, everyone's back from ad, so you all can read this Yu-Gi-Oh bullshit with me? You all can read? Oh my god, that's Yugioh. Cyno is super into that card game. Genius Invocation TCG, isn't he? Doesn't it seem kinda weird for him to be into playing these sort of card games? Not when you consider his hairstyle. What has his hairstyle got to do with it? When you're playing a card game, the fancier your hairstyle, the more distracting it is for your opponent. What's going on with this guy? How did he manage to shape his hair like that? When your opponent's mind is consumed with thoughts like this, you quickly gain the upper hand. We better think twice before playing against him. I don't know. I think I might have an advantage over him. But you don't have a fancy hairstyle at all, and your clothes look pretty normal. But I do have Paimon. You know, he'd be like, what's up with this guy? And that pesky flying companion of his. As long as you're floating by my side, Cyno's mind will be consumed with thoughts like that. I, on the other hand, will be completely unfazed by his hairstyle, so I'd be able to focus, and victory would be mine. Forget it. If you want to play cards, go get a funny haircut. I can't right now. It's just Yugimoto. I've said it before that this is all just a big Yu-Gi-Oh reference with the trading card game and stuff, but that Cyno likes it and that they know what they're doing with having the white-haired, dark-skinned character into the card game. And then they write out shit like this. What am I supposed to do with this? I just can't. Vine tree. Shroom boars. About beliefs. Completely misses the point, Paimon. Okay, this is all Inazuma stuff. Linnea. Kamsato. Asahagoru. Did we not get any for the new characters? About Chi-Chi being a zombie. Anyway, the reason I even got distracted doing that was because these old guys were talking about how Candace was blind as a child. And I mean, heterochromia causes blindness, at least in like cats. So I'm not surprised that she might be a little blind. Let's see what's this. I'm already in the Adventurers Guild. Calm down and get some water. I get a little excited. I do have my hands full with the Adventurers Guild. Wait until 6 to 1900. Then talk to Sammy. So there's a quest like right here. Is it you again? Sorry about Paimon. Let's fertilize him again. Okay. Swap to a Dendro character.
Just what will we...
And fertilize. Boom. Yay, we got one rose. I already read this part, but I'll learn it again, I guess. So yeah, I'll come back another day and I'll give her more roses, but I got butter chicken out of it. I'm pretty sure, yeah, Cyno's thing. Lock it. Take a look around academia. Yeah, I'll probably save that for next stream. Because I might try to do some of the event while I have a second. Oh, Sani, not Shani. That is so dumb. Names are way too similar. Also, there's someone up in the building itself. Okay, that's where he was. I'll get the flowers. But I'll also talk to Sonny. A guy whose wife doesn't want him to work, and a guy who's retired. Sounds about right. But he's a guard, so he does something important. I've got my wave. Go real quick and be right back when the ad break ends.
Worrying as it can get. Worrying as it can get.
Okay, everybody's back from ad break. Great. I also got a donut. This food is important. Oh, come on, traveler. There we go. I picked up his goods just as the ad break started, so. They named one of the kids a 10. Really? We're not even trying anymore. It's right there. So I think it's pronounced A10. And it's a small girl. Someone who wants to join the small girl. We're just gonna let the kids try. Eremites don't lie. He said lying. Why am I involved in this now? You just want me to run away? Oh. Whee! Whee! Hey kids! Whee! I made it! Ta-da! Don't know what I did, but I did something. Live combat. We're just gonna fight scorpions. It'll be fine. Oh, that's very far outside the village. I don't know how safe this is.
I'm going in!
Boom! Defeated all of them. That's what training does. I just have to bring the seeds. Climb all the way back up? Ugh. Why does she live under everyone? It's not helpful. So now I have to find a way back up there.
Sounds good to me.
One little chest, nice.
Fateful offering.
And another chest! I win! 2 chests! Let's go!
Time to go.
Okay, I delivered the pot. Oh no. Doesn't know how to do gardening. Can figure it out. So I'm gonna turn that one on. Let's get the Sumeru achievement stuff. I need to let a dog back inside. She's barking. I have to end stream soon. I have a dog that wants attention. Wants me to fake it. There's 4 more new ones. Nice. And when next week resets, I'll go up another level. It's only construction material, or blueprints. And that one's a recipe. But this is what I actually need, the Dendroculus. Probably be, what, another 3 weeks? Ugh. See what's happening. Oh, the banners are up. Or are they always up? I never remember. to the Adventurers Guild.
Let me just confirm. Yes, all tasks on the checklist are complete. Traveler, Paimon, we are grateful for your assistance. Thank goodness you were able to come as soon as we contacted you. Who knows how we would have coped with all these commissions otherwise.
But we didn't actually get to do the commission?
It was nothing. The last couple of days have been pretty busy, but it was all super easy stuff, like delivering and escorting goods.
I wish I could have done the commission.
We heard that you were short on people. We thought we were going to be in for another long and drawn-out adventure.
Being the seasoned adventurers that you are, it's true that you are suited to work of a much higher caliber than your recent assignments. However, this situation is unavoidable in Mondstadt at this time of year.
Huh? Why's that?
Harvest
That's
season?
right. This is the ideal season for harvesting crops and fruits. And for the wine capital of Teyvat, it's also the all-important winemaking season.
Ooh. Gonna get drunk. Can I preheat the oven to 450? Do it in 4 minutes, but Stevie won't know that. But it's
Farmers are
Thanksgiving.
anxious to sell off their fresh produce, and all the major wine merchants are seeking to purchase top-quality ingredients to make new product.
Ah, well, no wonder we keep hearing people talking about wine these days.
Huh? What do you mean? Seriously?
Yes, I swear I'm not making this up. The acting Grand Master wants everyone to gather at headquarters in the main hall. Hurry! We need to leave right now or we'll be late.
Hey, wait up!
We're gonna meet that new Animo kid.
Why do those two knights look so flustered?
Kaya! Kaya.
Well, hello there. If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon. What a rare pleasure.
Hi, Kaya.
Kaya! Just the person we need! Why is everyone running off to the Knights of Favonia's headquarters all of a sudden?
And are we needed? Do we have to come to this meeting?
Don't worry. This isn't one of those occasions where you need to come to everyone's rescue. All that's happened is that the Knights of Favonius have just received a letter from the Grand Master. Acting Grand Master Jean will be convening a meeting in the main hall shortly to go through it.
A letter from the Grand Master himself.
Well, that's a relief. Wait, hold on a second. What did you say again?
I forgot the Grand Master was still alive. I assumed he was dead and we were faking it.
Isn't that Varka? The leader of that legendary expedition?
Yeah, that's off at the expedition. Wherever that expedition is, it's not here. And it's not at the 3 other nations we've been to, so who knows where he went.
So, what did Varka say in the letter? How's the expedition going? When are they getting back?
We don't know. We haven't read the letter yet.
Oh, so interested in our Grand Master all of a sudden? Never knew you were such a gossip.
It's only normal, isn't it? That you'd be curious too if there was someone you'd heard loads about but never met. Even Master Jean says he's a living legend. Oh, pretty hard not to get hyped up after hearing that. Besides, the expedition has been going on for ages, and we still never heard a single thing about what they're up to.
Like, it's been going on for literal years.
The acting Grand Master is very gracious in her appraisal. Varka brought quite a bit of trouble to those around him on the road to becoming a legend. I'll have to tell you about it sometime. Anyway, since this has piqued your interest, why don't you join me at headquarters? And we'll see what the letter says. We do miss our honorary knight, after all. It's been quite a long time since your last visit.
Sure, let's go and see what it's all about. Bye, Catherine! See you soon!
Alright, take care now.
Bye, robot. Been gone so long, we went to Egypt. Gotta love it. So the ad's gonna start in a minute. I'm not gonna start the cutscene because that would be rude. Oh wait, it's up another flight of stairs. Climb another wall anyway, it's fine. But once that starts, I'll go preheat the oven and wait for you guys to get back. Gonna have pizza tonight. Oh, and Stevie's coming. That didn't work. Oh well. And it's just about to start, so I'll see you when that ends.
Good deeds and bad. In the end,
I did the thing.
all will be placed upon the scales.
I'll just do artifact stuff. Called feeding his artifact. Oh wait. Enhance this one. Seconds, cool. Welcome back from the ad. I'm just leveling up Cyno's artifact real quick. Crit damage! Yay! Okay. Just so he has more attack.
Luck can swing the results of a single game, but it's bound to run out soon.
Knights of Felonious headquarters.
It looks like just about everyone's here.
Hey there, cutie. Paimon.
Lisa.
I didn't know you two would be coming. So you heard about the letter?
Yep, we ran into Kaya near the Adventurers Guild. Oh, wow. Paimon's never seen so many people in the main hall at once before.
We never had this many NPCs before.
Oh, Paimon's getting kind of nervous now.
Don't get too carried away, alright? If I know the Grand Master, the fact that he has the time to be writing letters means it's probably nothing serious. It certainly won't be bad news.
Kaya's exaggerating a little, but otherwise I agree. After all, Mika's not the kind of person who'd be able to keep it hidden if something were the matter. The truth would be written all over his face.
Mika? Who's that?
Over there. Look. The kid standing next to Jean in front of the staircase? He used to be a land surveyor in Eula's team. He's very talented in what he does, and a very reliable person. When the expedition team set out, the Grand Master appointed him to be the core member of the frontline team. He's the one that brought back the letter.
Please, may I have your attention, everyone? Now that we're all here, let's begin reading out the letter from the Grand Master. Mika, please, go ahead.
Hello, new character.
Yes, Master Jean.
Look at the small child.
Right. Hello, everybody. I am Mika, surveyor of the Reconnaissance Company. Recently, I have been taking part in an assignment with the expedition team. I will now be reading Grandmaster Varka's letter aloud for you all. To the Knights of Favonius. Greetings, everyone. This is Varka. The first thing I want to say to you all is, please put your minds at ease. The expedition is safe, and all of its members are accounted for.
Well, we're starting the letter with a lie, because we still have that guy who's wandering around Mondstadt pretending he's part of this expedition. But he missed the expedition. Got separated as they were leaving for Leeway. So, they've been short one guy this whole time, but you know, all members are accounted for.
Oh, that's fantastic news. My palms are sweating.
May I continue?
Go ahead, Nika.
Alright. Now that your fears are allayed, I trust you'll be ready to listen to the rest of my letter. I'm writing to you from the northernmost reaches of Tevat by the light of a stove. The expedition forces are stationed here while we restock.
Northernmost reaches way up north.
I once told you that the purpose of this expedition was related to a dangerous secret from days long past. I am still unable to disclose more than this, but suffice to say that you needn't worry about how our mission is progressing.
I'm still concerned, because it's a mission from the long past that led you marching up north to almost Snezhnaya? Why are you up there, sir?
In the past couple of months, we received an unexpected visitor. The Fatui Harbinger known as the Captain.
That's a new one.
The Captain?
A new Fatui?
I am fully aware of the Fatui's outrageous actions in Mondstadt in recent history. Nevertheless, the Captain was not hostile towards us on this occasion.
Suspicious.
Open parenthesis. I rather suspect that's because this time, Snezhnaya and we are in the same boat. Close parenthesis.
Side note.
The man hides everything under the mask he wears, so no one can know his past or his origins. However, one thing is for sure. He is as hard as iron for having the courage to challenge gods as an ordinary mortal. I don't doubt that he could even take out a ruin guard by stabbing it in its big, glowing eye with one of Klee's crayons. Open parenthesis, don't get any ideas. Close parenthesis.
I love that you have to say what's in the brackets. But also, don't get any ideas. No one go trying to buy ruin guards with Klee's drawing materials.
Our
please.
scouts have confirmed that the captain received orders to head for Natlan 3 days ago. We'll be able to sleep much better now that we don't need to worry about him anymore. I will admit that some of his actions have helped us, but even then, he owed us at least that much. This year's Weinlesefest must be kicking off in Mondstadt any day now. What a great pity that this year, once again, we will be unable to spend the festival together. Everyone here is always thinking back fondly upon the fine wines of Mondstadt, as well as the happy times we have spent with each and every one of you. I hope that you and all the citizens of Mondstadt enjoy the festival to the fullest. Have a few drinks on our behalf. The Dawn Winery's limited edition Weinlesefest seasonal special will do nicely.
Quotation marks, Gene, buy this wine so people can have it.
May Lord Barbados bless Mondstadt, and may the wind carry our sentiments back to your side. Varka.
Okay. This letter means nothing.
P.S. If you're wondering who's tougher between me and the captain, well, I'm the Grand Master. there are 10 captains in the Knights of Favonius, but only one Grand Master. Ah ha 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 ha. His laugh, not mine.
He's the one laughing. I'm not laughing. That's what's written down. Laughing. Lol. Lol was written down. Smiley face.
The letter ends here. Thank you, everyone, for your attention.
Good job, buddy. You did great.
Thank you, Mika.
Master Jean, I just noticed that there's something else written on the back of the last page.
Oh, he's a cryo. It's on his hand.
PPS. I ran out of paper, so I'll add this here. Lisa, the following is a message for you. This part seems to be from the Grand Master to Miss Lisa.
Yeah, maybe don't read it out loud to everyone.
Oh, for me?
Seeing that it's a special message, Lisa, we'll discuss this in private. Everyone, as the Grand Master mentioned in his letter, the Weinlesefest is in just a few days. And how fortunate we are at this time to receive word that all is well with the expedition. Though they are unable to return to Mondstadt and spend the festival with us, the Weinlesefest will nonetheless be a major event that all of Mondstadt is looking forward to. I hope that everyone will guard your stations and perform your duties, both for our far-flung colleagues involved in the expedition, and also for the hardworking people of Mondstadt. And of course, during your time off, I hope you will be able to rest, relax, and enjoy this long-awaited festival. That brings our meeting to a close. Dismissed.
See, Jean's good at meetings.
They ran into the Fatui's captain? Who knows what that was about? But it must have been important.
Biscuit. It's only Stevie. It's okay. No barking. No. Oof. No. No bark. Biscuit. Quiet.
But, Fatui Schmatui. The real big deal here is the Weinlesefest. Sounds like there'll be loads of free food and drink. Paimon wants to hear more.
Hey, cuties. How about we go and chat with Jean? You didn't get a chance to say a proper hello with so many people here.
Sounds good. All right, let's go.
Also means we'll get to hear what was on Lisa's side of the letter. Hey, guys.
Hi there. You must be looking for Captain Kaya? Please, don't mind me.
I just wanted to say hi.
Wait, but what? Oh, jeez, Captain Kaya. What should I say?
Hello back?
Oh, Mika. How have you not changed one bit after being on the front line this long? You were just asking me about the Storm Terror incident, weren't you? Well, allow me to introduce you to the legendary Honorary Knight.
I'm still honorary. They still have not made me an official knight.
And also the legendary Paimon.
Hi there. You guys are so strong. I'm in awe. I have to go and report in with Captain Eula now. Please excuse me.
Okay. Oh, bye, kid.
Aww, he just left. Well, that's too bad. Paimon was gonna ask him all about the expedition.
That is a pity, it really is. But don't take it the wrong way. The way he sees it, every pair of eyes in Mondstadt is focused squarely on you. Give it some time, and this will all sort itself out. Next time you see him, I'm sure you'll get along just fine. In fact, let me share a little secret with you. Try talking to him about exploring the wild. You'll win his trust in no time.
Sure. But right now we need to go into Lisa's office.
Ah, Lisa. The Grandmaster's letter is
Jean's
just on the
office
table.
with Lisa.
Traveler, Paimon, it's been a long time. Apologies, I didn't get the chance to talk with you during the meeting just now. If you don't have any plans in the immediate future, why not stay in Mondstadt for a while? We'll be celebrating the Weinlesefest very soon.
Don't be deceived. Jean may appear very composed, but she's been missing you both terribly recently.
Lisa...
I'll leave you to catch up. I'm going to read my letter.
Hi, Miss Mom.
That's where our journey began, after all. We have a lot of fun.
It's a lot more than just a pack of cheese.
I got some snacks.
Okay.
Hocus Pocus 2 came out tonight.
Oh, okay.
And so I got some Jiffy Pop, I got some Twizzlers, and there was a chocolate Twizzler. So I got that one just to see what the hell that is. And then I got myself some paydays.
Okay.
And then I got us a dessert.
Okay.
So that's
This progress.
I know. But sorry I didn't come in. I cracked my windshield, so I had to fix it real quick.
Like you hit it?
No, as in semi in front of me chipped my windshield.
Oh.
So I had a windshield repair kit that I bought.
Okay.
And
The oven is preheated. It just beeped.
yeah.
Master Jean, neither of us really knows anything about this Weinlesefest. Could you tell us more about it?
Yes, of course. The Weinlesefest is an ancient Mondstadt festival, just like Ludi Harpastum and Windbloom. In addition, it's the most important part of the fall.
It's called Thanksgiving. The end.
Each fall, the west wind blows in Mondstadt. Legend has it that the wonderful scent of Mondstadt's winemaking during the harvest season entices even the Animo Archon into attendance, being the great wine lover that he is.
Oh, yes. Yes, it's a big secret that Venti shows up at the winemaking festival. It's a big secret in Mondstadt. It's like we all know. We all know where Venti will be.
No matter where he is, he will transform into a soft breeze and return to his homeland.
Oh, yeah? Free wine. He can't miss this.
Yeah, that sounds like the Animo Archon, all right.
It's not some noble mystical thing. He just wants the free alcohol.
For this reason, Mondstadters call the western wind the returning wind. The Weinlesefest originally began as a celebration to welcome Lord Barbados on his return.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to be out of town, and when I come back, I want a party with wine. Okay, this party was so great, let's do it again next year. And then it became a festival.
In the past, every household would brew fresh wine around this time of year and keep it sealed at least until Windcoming Day during the following year's Weinlesefest. Uncasking the sealed wine is a symbolic way of inviting the Animo Archon to share a drink. Legend holds that if the Animo Archon is satisfied with the taste of the wine, he will summon a gentle breeze to richly bless the people.
Knowing him, it was probably blessing them with more good wine the next year.
That's a good question. But there's really no way of knowing.
Not like we can just ask Venti.
These are very old stories. Many of the details have been lost to time.
Except for the part where Venti is still alive and was here for these lost to time stories.
Some stories change completely as they get passed down. Hence why these days, Mondstatters will get into endless arguments over what kind of flower a windbloom is.
Even though Venti made them up. They aren't a real flower. It was the name of the Rebel Alliance.
All part of how cultural heritage is created.
Indeed. But for the time being, at least, the tradition of paying
In the
tribute to
fridge.
the Animo Archon on Windcoming Day is still alive and well, and the Weinlesefest remains a time for Mondstatters to share the joy of the harvest with one another as they partake of fine wines. This is a time of the year when many Mondstatters living away from Mondstadt return to their hometown. For those unable to return, Weinlesefest is the period when they miss their family and friends most keenly.
Oh, so that's why the Grandmaster wrote, "May the wind carry our sentiments back to your side."
For this year,
We've joined forces with the Church of Favonius and the Adventurers Guild to host a celebration on the banks of Cider Lake, just outside of Springvale. There will also be a traditional wine market during the festival period.
Wine market?
Well, originally, it was simply a place where winemakers and farmers would come to trade in raw ingredients for winemaking. These days, it is a much grander affair. Not only will you find a range of choice wines, but seasonal fruit beverages and food items for everyone to enjoy too. A lot of people also sell secondhand goods and handicrafts at the market. The Knights of Favonius plan to use this as an opportunity to do some fundraising for needy children and elderly people in the city.
So we're gonna run a business, but we're not gonna make any profits because we're gonna donate it all to charity.
Wow, sounds pretty cool.
Of course we are.
If you have the time,
This
I
festival
encourage
where
you
we
to
get
take a look
business.
around. I hope you'll find it a worthwhile experience.
Feeding
now,
Paimon is
Lisa,
charity.
What was the Grand
She's a
Master's
small
message
child.
to you about?
We need to feed the children.
I was just about to bring that up. The Grand Master says he wants me to handle something for him. Something to do with Razor's past.
Oh, we're...
Run off with the fun before they find out.
Yeah, it's like it's to feed the hungry children that are Paimon. Moving on. Let's go. To apparently Razor's tragic backstory. Because, yeah, the Grand Master just left a note on the back of the letter of, P.S. Lisa, look into Razor's past. That's concerning.
Razor told us that he was raised by a pack of wolves in Wolvendom.
He was raised by wolves. The
He
end.
never knew his parents. In his own words, the wolf pack is his lupica, which means family.
Yes, that was as much as I knew as well. But in his letter, the Grand Master says that in the cabinet above the third bookshelf, to the right of the grandfather clock in Jean's office, there's a wooden box containing some items that Razor's parents left for him. He says it's time to give the box to Razor.
Oh, goody. So his parents were conscious enough of their coming demise to leave items for Razor, but not enough to keep him from, you know, being raised in the wilderness by wolves. Because no one else knew that they died and had a kid.
Does this mean the Grand Master knew Razor's parents?
It would seem so. The Grand Master didn't simply run into Razor one day in Wolvendom and teach him how to use a sword. No, the connection between them goes back much further.
Wow. Well, come on, let's go find Razor. He'll be pretty excited to find out something about his true parents.
I don't know if you will be, but we're gonna find out.
Oh, cutie. Nothing escapes your eyes, does it? For the child who never met their biological parents, this kind of conversation is always a difficult one. Even for the most well-adjusted.
Even for the most well-adjusted child. Which Razor is not the most well-adjusted child. So this is going to be an interesting conversation.
By contrast, Razor grew up in Wolvendom and has had very limited contact with human society. Who knows whether he's ready for this or not?
I'm sure the Grand Master will have given due consideration to Razor's circumstances. Perhaps he felt that now would be the most appropriate time.
Yeah, but how does the Grandmaster know that Razor is now interacting with humans more and is talking to you guys and not just hiding in the woods still talking to wolves? Like, yeah, Razor has made progress and has friends, but how does the Grandmaster know that Razor has made progress?
That's a good point. Okay, cuties. Can I leave you to break
He
things
is
to Razor?
north of Snezhnaya right now. He is as far north as you can possibly be.
He thinks of me as his teacher, so he might not open up to me if he gets upset. But you are his trusted friends. I think it makes more sense for him to hear about this from you.
Leave it to
Thank
us.
you, sweetie.
We'll gently inform him
Try
of
to be as
this.
encouraging as you
Definitely.
can. Someone his age needs all the love and support they can get.
Leave it.
Razor's usually around Wolvendom, right? how do you think he'll react after hearing about this?
He'll react great as long as we go as Bennett. As long as we go as Bennett and have Bennett tell him, it'll go great. It'll go great. As long as his friend is there, tell him about his dead parents. This will go great.
Hey, look! It's a hunting trap. It looks like the ones that the hunters
Candy
from
corn.
Springvale use. What is it?
The neighbors.
Oh.
Fire pit. 30 people.
Oh.
They got the whole
Family.
They got the whole world in their yard. It's gonna screw with her in their yard.
Yep.
Cause she thinks the world is her yard and it's gonna fuck her up. And that's on reactive dogs.
Yeah.
Electro energy? Paimon wonders if it could be Razor. But Paimon thought he was pretty good at avoiding the hunters. Well, anyway, let's follow the traces of Electro and see where they lead.
And let's also maybe disable the trap. Maybe we shouldn't leave the hunting trap here.
Gather.
No, we can't. That's dumb. I would like to...
Look! There's another trap up ahead! Can you feel that electro energy too?
Yes. I'm concerned.
The electro traces lead deep into Wolvendom. Let's keep going.
I mean, of course they do. If it's Razor, he'll just go deeper into Wolfendom. Okay, now the fact that the hilly trolls aren't here, that's suspicious. There's always one that's an archer right there. There's also supposed to be some... Okay, those are still here. But, we're supposed to be going up here. Yeah.
Alright, the last trap has been set. Razor, thanks for coming with me all this way.
It's okay. My legs are strong.
What is it, Razor?
It smells familiar. Friend, from far away.
Yeah, we smell like desert sand right now. Don't worry about it. There you are. Are you setting traps? Because now I'm concerned.
Are you two hunting together?
Yes, it's almost harvest season, and the boars are venturing into the towns and wineries looking for food. They're trampling crops and destroying the vineyards. Someone could get seriously hurt.
Oh, we're hunting wild boar. Okay, that's acceptable.
The Knights of
Those things get
Favonius
really
came
big.
to us asking for help, keeping the boars a safe distance away from the population.
I and Uncle Brown Cat catch boars, protect everyone.
Wow, Razor! This is a big step for you. Paimon remembers you used to hide away from the hunters.
Yeah, but as long as I have the conversations with the hunters, and I can tell the wolves where to avoid the traps, and they're just there for the boars, it's fine.
You can say that again. Razor was the star of the show this time.
Yeah.
He let the wolves know we'd be coming, so we were able to get through Wolvendom without anyone getting hurt.
See? Let the wolves know to avoid the traps. and we're
Helping
good.
everyone, helping Lupercal, makes me happy. But much talking. Very tired now.
Still progress.
But, actually...
Yeah, or maybe we should drop the bombshell some other time. Oh, we're just gonna tell him. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, oh. Oh, is all the reaction.
I don't know.
I don't know if I want to do this.
Razor, do you mean you don't want to know about your real parents?
He doesn't know if he wants to go and open the box that got left by his dead parents that we just told him about. And apparently the Grandmaster knew his parents all along. Even though he's, you know, been living with the wolves since they died and he was like a baby.
I want to know, but don't want to know.
Parents who was obviously friends with this Grandmaster dude, I would be rolling in my grave.
Yeah, like, why did the Grandmaster raise Razor? Why was he left to be raised by wolves? How did this happen?
Like, that's some Severus Snape and Lily Potter bullshit.
And so, yeah, Razor is reasonably unsure of if he wants to open this box and find out what items his dead parents apparently left for him.
So you do want to know, but at the same time you don't want to know? Ugh, sounds complicated.
Traveler, come and take a look at the trap I just placed. Let's give Razor some space to process things.
Let's give him a minute to think
I
about it.
have some thoughts about this after seeing how Razor reacted. We've been hunting together a lot recently. The kid might not talk much, but still, I feel like I've come to understand him a little over the time we've spent together. Here's what I think. He definitely wants to find out about his parents. It's just that his fear of the unknown is overwhelming everything else he's feeling.
He's afraid of new things, but he also really wants to know. But he's too afraid of new things to do it.
I'm a father myself, so I know a thing or two about kids.
Yeah, and then Draff is Dona's dad. Diona?
Yeah.
The little cat girl?
The cat girl who likes margaritas?
Well, she wants to make the worst margarita in existence.
Oh.
To get drunk people to stop drinking alcohol. But she's magically...
Oh, okay.
But she's magically cursed to where every drink she makes tastes amazing.
Oh my god.
And so she just keeps making these potions and she's like, I'm gonna pose in and kill someone, or I'm gonna make a really good margarita. We're gonna find out which one it is.
And she makes a good margarita.
And she gets upset about it. And she's this close to actually trying to poison someone just to get something to taste bad.
You know, when Diona was little, if I got back late from a hunt one night, she'd be watching me like a hawk for days afterwards, as if she was worried that I might abandon her.
Yeah, Dona
Do
is
you
this
mean
kid.
Razor's worried that he was abandoned by his own parents?
Well, I mean...
Exactly. I think that's the heart of it. And if it turns out they did, well, I don't think there's anything we could say to console him. That's not my only concern, though.
See, I don't think they abandoned him. I do think they are, as of right now, dead. I just think Varka messed it up by not coming and picking up the kid.
Razor is developing at his own pace. There are lots of issues that can't be solved all in one go, but he's making progress, one step at a time. But now this thing with his parents is added into the mix. It might push him to want to figure out once and for all where he comes from and where he's going.
Seems like a similar take to Lisa's. Maybe all mature adults think like this, huh?
Think that this might be an overwhelming situation for the kid? Yeah.
Wait, but then again, Master Jean had a different view. She said it's more about trusting other people and in your own instincts. What do you think?
I'll be there as a friend
Gotcha.
for him.
Well, knowing that he's got a friend like you to rely on makes me feel much better about this whole thing.
How you plan to approach the situation?
Okay, got it. Right, let's head back. We don't want to keep him waiting.
Okay, what's the plan? To slowly ease him into this.
Hey, Razor. So, what are your thoughts?
Still thinking. My heart, it feels strange. Like being stabbed by a wolf hook. Varka? Tall, very strong, likes to laugh.
Then do you trust Varka?
Yes, trust. He's very good to me. Give me a name. Teach me to fight. But now, busy with important work. I miss him.
Yeah, he's gone up north. He's outside of Mondstadt.
Razor, Varka used up all the paper writing this letter, but he still made sure he found room on the back to add a note for Lisa. He specifically told her to give you the things that your parents left for you. That means that he thinks the items have a special meaning for you. But more importantly than that, whatever happens, the Traveler, Paimon, Lisa, and all your other friends will always be here for you.
That's right. And old Uncle Brown Cat's here to support you as well.
Okay. Thank you. I decide I want to go with you to see teacher.
That's the spirit, kiddo. Well, you folks better be heading off then. I'm just about finished here, so I'll be heading home very shortly myself. I'd better try and get plenty of father-daughter time in before the Weinlesefest starts.
Bye, Drax. See you again next time.
Okay, and then we just teleport back to Mondstadt. I'm surprised we're actually gonna get to the opening of the box in the first story quest thing of this event, when there's 3 of them. I'm sure they're gonna make me wait a whole day or something.
Lisa, we brought Razor.
Hello, teacher. I'm here to see the box.
Ah, my little wolf cub's in a good mood. I'm assuming they discussed the whole story with you already? Here, this is it. The wooden box. I haven't touched it, except for taking it out of the cabinet.
This is a huge-ass box. This box was supposedly hidden on the shelf behind some books near the grandfather clock. And I'm like, it's huge.
Yes.
No one bothered to open the huge box that was left on his shelf for the last 2 years.
No, obviously not.
Jean had to have tried to open every box in this office.
Oh, this is just a pile of junk. Paimon thought there'd at least be a letter or something.
It is a wolf plushie, a bottle of wine, I think 2 screws, 3 balls of yarn, and, I don't know, a gear piece?
Uh-oh. You don't think that...
I don't know.
Varka might be getting mixed up between different boxes.
She's like, maybe this is the wrong box.
There is a scent.
A scent? What kind?
A scent I remember from a long, long time ago. It's their scent.
It's probably still on the wolf
Human
plushie.
scent. Father and mother's scent.
Incredible. You still remember scents from all the way back in your childhood.
How young was he?
You have a really good sense of smell, Razor. Guess being wild by nature has its advantages.
What's the excuse for the craft?
Let's see what other leads we
Not
can
gotten
find.
to that point yet. We've just confirmed that this box is in fact the box from his parents.
This woolen hand puppet looks kinda wonky. Guess it must be handmade, huh? Is this a part from a ruin guard?
Yeah, a gear. It's a part from a ruin guard. Just some weird gear.
Wait. Hey, look. This wine bottle is still half full. And there's a note stuck on it. 1,000. 1,000 wind wine.
Oh, so it's a bottle of 1,000 wind wine?
Teacher, you know?
Of course. 1,000 wind wine was the first kind of wine that Mondstadters ever learned to make, or so they say. As to how it got its name, some say it's a reference to the numerous ingredients used to make it, while others say it's because every bottle tastes slightly different. I remember reading somewhere that there are all sorts of weird and wonderful ways of brewing it, and that it's very difficult to ensure it comes out tasting the same each time. This all makes it impractical to commercialize. Wine merchants are much more comfortable working with reliable, consistent-tasting products. That's why you'll almost never see 1,000 wind wine in the markets or taverns. Huh. In fact, it looks like your parents brewed this bottle themselves.
That must mean there's something pretty important about it. Oh, Paimon has an idea. Razor, you got a good nose. Why don't you open it up and take a whiff? Maybe it'll tell you something.
Okay.
Maybe the weird smelling wine.
He seems really in the zone.
Find anything?
Sweet, cold, a little bitter. I like many things all mixed together.
It's just wine.
But things in wine smell different.
Even you can't tell what it is, Razor?
I will try again.
No, it's okay, buddy. Still just fruit juice.
Okay, Razor. Don't push yourself too hard. What do we do when we try something and it doesn't work?
Try another way.
That's right. You still remember what I taught you. Oh, it's almost the Weinlesefest. Everyone who knows anything worth knowing about wine will be gathering in Mondstadt. Surely someone will know a thing or two about Thousand Wind wine.
Oh, great idea!
Will Venti be coming?
Make sure you don't miss the opening ceremony, cutie. Everyone will be there. Razor, you should go too. It'll be a good opportunity to ask around.
And also a good time to force you into public situations and socializing with other humans.
Okay. Ask many people. I will try.
He will try to talk to many people.
Don't worry, we'll be right there with you. We can be your go-between. You know,
No, Paimon just reassured we'll be the go-between.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Okay, then I will go back now. I need to tell Lupacol about Human Mother.
He's like, I'm gonna go back now. I need to go tell the wolves about Human Mother and Human Father. It's like, you don't really need to tell the wolves about this, but you need to go tell someone about your day. It has been a day.
Great! See you at the opening ceremony.
Okay, so I made myself an extra couple slices because
Did you not make the full one?
No, I did. I made the full one. So what had happened is I didn't cut it straight. It's so thin.
Okay. So there's another half of them.
Yeah, for you. Yeah. And then I've got a full half.
Yeah.
I skinned off the top, and so it made a couple extra pieces.
You're good. I just intentionally got it because it's something I can put in some plastic baggies and have lunch.
Yeah.
For work tomorrow and Sunday.
No one's joined me on an adventure in ages.
How's everyone doing tonight?
Fine.
Good.
We finished the main Sumeru story quest thing.
Oh?
With the team breaking up to think of ideas.
Nice.
And we'll reconvene in 3.2.
But
yeah. But it's like, we have decided we didn't know where to end this story quest, so we're just like,
come back later when we figure it
out.
out.
Everyone think of plans and ideas for what we should do. Because we all agree we're gonna attack the academia.
Mm-hmm.
And that the scholars are bad people.
Correct.
But now we have to think of resources and assets we have to use to go against the scholars. Okay. And I'm like, we have 3 different Archons we can call. We're right in Mondstadt right now, about to go talk to Venti at some point. It's the wine festival. He's gonna be here.
Right.
So it is like, we can ask Venti, we can ask Zhongli. And the Raiden Shogun loves war. So just giving her a chance to fight people, she'll be there.
Right.
And so I was like, really, we could just ask the Archons to come help us. That's not going to be the solution. It's going to be Sumeru isolated solution. But that's my solution. But they're all going to think up a plan, and then we're going to meet back up in Candace's house with our plan. And then we're going to do the plan. But that's
so
all
after COVID's over, we're all going to hang out again.
And then we're going to overthrow a government.
Okay, that was actually pretty good. I put some of the pickled garlic on it.
You had some garlic, I saw.
Well, and I also had mushrooms and onion.
Mm.
But the pickled garlic on it wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And so I still have a Cyno story quest thing that I can do at some point. I decided I was gonna leave that for Monday stream.
Yeah.
And I was gonna do the Wind Plume because this is a seasonal event quest thing. Or it's because it's a festival. There we go. Go to the venue. Oh, it's outside. Outside the city. Oh, there's a bunch of little booths.
Thank you, everyone, for your patience. I am pleased to announce that this year's Weinlesefest has officially begun.
We found like 10 NPCs and Razor.
We hope the residents of Mondstadt and visitors from all over will enjoy the magnificent wines and experience the joy of the harvest. When Windcoming Day arrives, we will hold a grand toasting ceremony to welcome the Animo Archon Barbados back home. Let the wind lead.
Let the wind lead!
Razor, you're here already!
So many people.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just an experiment to see how many people you can deal with.
Let's sneak out of here. There's someone we gotta find.
Find? Who?
Just some tone-deaf bard. But he's also a know-it-all and loves nothing more than
Venti!
drinking, so he might actually be able to help.
A tone-deaf bard, but he's also a know-it-all. And he likes drinking, so he might know something about this wine bottle we're trying to figure out. Talk to Venti. That's also a thing. I was sure Venti was gonna wait until whatever day is the wind welcoming day to show up. But no, he's here from day one, which I'm not surprised.
He's getting trashed. He can't.
He's like, it's my party and I can get trashed if I want to. As long as I'm slightly sober for the day when I'm supposed to arrive. And I do a wind gusty thing and they're like, ooh, the wind blew, it welcomed us, he liked our wine, yay! We'll do it again next year. That's great, that's all I need. You guys to do it again next year. It's been a while.
Paimon, how do you do? I had a feeling I'd run into you soon, during this most enchanting of festivals.
Spoken like a true poet. But reading between the lines here, if one bottle is tipsy and two is merry, just how many is enchanting exactly?
Oh, don't say that. This festival has so much more to offer than just drinking.
You say that, but you're you.
Anyway, hey Razor, how have you been?
All right. I have a question.
Yeah, Razor has something he wants to ask you about. Know anything about Thousand Wind wine?
Ooh, now there's a name that takes me back. Let me think. How long has it been since I last heard someone mention Thousand Wind wine?
Please don't say a few centuries.
Razor's parents left him a box with a half bottle of wine inside. And there's a label on it that says Thousand Wind wine. We heard there's a lot of history behind this type of wine. And the brewing methods go way, way back. So we figured you'd be a good person to ask.
Because, you know, you're really old. and you like wine, which are the 2 requirements we need for information.
It smells good, but don't know what's inside.
I see, I see. So you want to know how Thousand Wind wine is made? Well, you came to the right person. I happen to know a little rhyme called, well, as it happens, Thousand Wind wine.
Of course it is.
I was going to save it for Windcoming Day, but far be it from me to deny an early serenade to a friend in need. How about it? Shall I recite it for you?
A song. Not easy to understand, but still want to hear.
It's gonna have a lot of metaphors in it, and those are hard for Razor.
Excellent answer. Then, hear it you shall. Fill up the barrels and store them away. Then wait for a windier day. Wax the bottles, seal them tight, for the south wind that soothes, for the north wind that bites.
Yeah, you're not actually singing though, Venti.
How does wine taste to the tongue? As Mondstadt to the ear, like a sweet dream of freedom. And what are the fruits that went into the brew? An explorer's courage, a love tender and true. A defender's will, strong as yesteryear. Joining the thousand winds in a song of good cheer. Turning sour into sweet, bitter notes fade away. As we wait for a windier day. Thank you so much for the applause. Was the rhyme of help to you?
No. It was vague and not helpful.
Like wine. A little sweet, but now head spinning. Don't understand.
I mean,
Don't worry, it's not just you. It was supposed to be about winemaking, but it didn't give a single detail about the process.
Well, maybe it's a little abstract and romanticized, but that's one of the defining features of Mondstadt poetry.
Okay, so let's try to pin this down. What did the poem say the ingredients are? An explorer's courage, a love tender and true, a defender's will, and the thousand winds? Song of good cheer? Nope, Paimon has absolutely no idea what any of these refer to. Look, Tone-Deaf Bard, you clearly know what the whole thing means, so could you do us a favor and at least give us a hint?
You misunderstand me. I'm not trying to make you work for it or anything, but the lyrics are what they are. If there's anything they left out, even I can't fill in the blanks.
No, you can!
If you want to know the secret behind this sweet scent, you might have to start by rolling up your sleeves.
Oh, Venti, you're so not helpful.
Rolling up our sleeves? You mean we need to go and make this wine for ourselves? And somehow that'll teach us everything we want to know? This better not be a prank!
To just make wine for you to try.
We've known each other for so long, and you still don't trust my intentions? Oh, the pain.
I trust. I want to try. I want to make wine and find answers.
Okay, none of us are old enough to be making wine, except Venti.
If I know how to make wine, then I know what is in Father and Mother's wine. Right. I want to know about them.
Well, if you say so, Razor, guess we'll have to take Tone-Deaf Bard's word on this one. We'll give it a try, and as first-time winemakers, there's no shame if it turns out bad.
Don't worry, really. Freedom
Rosaria,
is the key. It's
what
not
are you
as hard
doing
as you
here?
might think.
Why were you in the cutscene?
As long as you add ingredients to the mix in a spirit of joy and sincerity, I promise you will reap the rewards you wish for.
But you're not telling us what the ingredients
I
are.
will tell Poem to teach her. Then I need to think alone.
That's the spirit. So, how about we meet again in 2 days? Let's say same place right here?
Okay, I will remember. See you then.
Just a whole lot of time traveling, is that it? No, that's the end of Act 1, and now we have to wait another 2 days. But now the event stuff's unlocked. That's a cool postcard. Feel plush.
I want it. I want it.
Unlocks in 9 hours.
Penny's adventure team, assemble!
So yeah, the next one is in 1 day and then in 4 days. So yeah, by Monday when I do my next stream, I'll have another one of these to do. Cool. I don't think I'll do any of the challenges right now. No real rush to do them just yet. Plus it automatically tosses me into one.
Honorary Knight! And Paimon, the best guide into that. I humbly beg for your assistance.
Whoa. Did Paimon hear that right? Is Paimon finally starting to make a name for herself? Oh, wait. Haven't we met?
Yes, in the main hall.
That's right. I'm Bernhard, a member of the logistics company under Captain Hertha. Normally, I would hope to become better acquainted before asking for a favor like this, but time's running out, so I really have no choice. Please help me rescue the charity event.
The charity event? Oh, right! Master Jean mentioned that. So, what's happened?
Well, the Knights of Favonius wants to run a stall during the festival. The idea is for all profits from the sales to go to charity. Specifically, the funds will provide support to disadvantaged children and elderly citizens. We drew lots to decide whose job it would be, and as it happened, I was the lucky winner. I really didn't want to screw this up, so I asked all around for advice, but my experience is in inventory and shipping. Now I'm supposed to run a whole shop, but it took me forever just to think of what to sell. I'm already completely out of my depth, and that is why I humbly beseech you to render your assistance.
I understand.
Also,
even though we have no sales experience, we're gonna figure it out.
You about the kids and old folks of Mondstadt, right? Sounds like a great cause. He's an honorary knight, and Paimon's a longtime friend of Favonius. We'll be more than happy to do our part.
Oh, I can't thank you enough. Right, let me get down to brass tacks. Before we can open shop, we need to amass a supply of fair brew jellies. This is the basic currency that we will use when running the stall. The wine merchants in the area are in dire need of raw ingredients for winemaking. Sell them raw ingredients and they will pay you generously in fair brew jellies. Also, there are some international customers looking to purchase beverages in bulk during the Weinlesefest period. They're on the market for an agent to handle their purchase order. In the interest of establishing a long-term business relationship, these customers are usually willing to offer a generous price. And there's also room for negotiation with the wine merchants. The price difference is ours to keep as commission. And you can cash that amount in for fair brew jellies.
So to sum up, our job is to sell ingredients to the wine merchants and place orders for the international customers, making sure to negotiate the price, right? Huh. Sounds much easier than Paimon imagined.
Really? Well, that's wonderful. I have one order here with me already. Mr. Xavier from Sumeru wishes to purchase 50 crates of fruits of the festival. These beverages can be bought from the Angel's Share stand. The shopkeeper's name is Georg. He's a very nice man, but he won't be pushed around. Please, consider the price carefully and try to reach a good deal with Georg. I should carry on setting up the stall now. Once you've gathered enough fair brew jellies, come back here and we'll take it from there. You won't need to worry about supplies for the shop. I'm already in contact with the suppliers, and they'll send everything over once the funds are in place.
All right, sounds good. We'll find the funds and you sort of...
This is an enormous help. Thank you both ever so much.
$17,000 is our start funds? Holy moly.
Hi there, Georg. We're Xavier agents. He's asked us to order 50 crates of fruits of the festival for him.
Oh? Did you say Xavier? He's a regular customer of mine. Always orders around the same amount each time. But I digress. What price are you offering this year?
Laura on hand is $17,000. But our max offer to the guy is 14,000. So we would get 3,000 out of the transaction. I'll drop it down to 13. Yeah, just wait, hold on. Enter number. 1 1 0 5 0 6. Done. Just give us another 500.
A little lower than I was hoping for, but he's a reliable customer. I think I can make it work. As usual, I will arrange for someone to deliver the goods directly to Cheverme's place of business. You won't have to worry about a thing. Just make sure you keep hold of this receipt.
Alright, let's keep bringing the funds in. We gotta work quickly if we want to gather all these fair brewed jellies in time. Bernhard says we can approach this however we want, just as long as we raise all the funds we need. We get a commission for every order we help place for an international customer. So maybe it's not worth trying to sell loads of ingredients to the wine merchants. Still, just to make sure we've covered everything, let's take a look at the other wine merchants.
Okay, let's see what Venti has to say real quick. Hi, Venti.
Ah, good. I was hoping we might get to chat some more.
About Razor.
I wouldn't worry yourself too much about him. Staying true to their journey and discovering joy and freedom for themselves is what Mondstadters do best. The same goes for you. You have to find the thing that makes you happy. Mostly because your happiness is very important to me.
Our happiness, specifically, is very important to you, Venti. You don't need to flirt already, man. I just asked you how Razor was doing. And you're
flirting.
And you're flirting.
Shut the fuck up.
I am fond of each and every one of Mondstadt's festivals. But, if I'm honest, Weinlesefest has an extra special place in my heart.
Oh, it fell on the floor.
You know, the animal Archon goes into a slumber after the west wind dies down, leaving the north wind to blow during the winter.
Venti, do you hibernate? Is that what you just told us?
Nah, he goes into, like, some fucking...
Or after this mega weak blender, you just pass out for a few months?
I mean...
Because it's like... Because he said, you know, the animal Archon goes into slumber after the west wind dies down, leaving the north wind to blow in during the winter. Which is like... It sort of makes him like... I don't know... Persephone? And he's going to sleep and he's only... Sleep for the winter time and that's why winter comes?
He probably likes pomegranates, that ass.
He probably likes pomegranates.
Look at that twink. He definitely loves pomegranates.
But yeah, Lily just says... Don't you know the animal Archon goes into slumber? Like, Venti, you are the animal Archon. Do you? I mean, you did sleep for a few centuries there after the Dvalin thing. You're right. So, I mean, who knows how the myth evolved while you were actually asleep for a few centuries, and it's just the actual science of hemispheres and wind currents.
It's a thing.
Which means this festival is the big feast before the winter slumber.
So you're gonna eat like crazy and then pass out for a month? I don't want to hear the poem again, because he's just gonna actually read out the poem to
See
me.
you around. Remember, there's no rush. Take your time, and you'll find all the answers that you're looking for.
The answer's gonna be, it's the friends around you, and your dead parents don't mean anything. What matters is the friends you've made along the way. It's gonna be the end result of this, Venti. Just tell us now.
Right.
Save us all this time making wine.
I keep forgetting you have your little buddy.
Well, I just got this one, and I equipped it because it's a new one, and it doesn't show up in cutscenes. They updated that because it used to be in every single cutscene.
Yeah, because the blob would go around.
Yeah, and I would be like, it's in the way of characters' faces during conversations.
You're here.
Barbara.
Hey, it's Barbara.
Hi, Barbara.
Thanks. And happy Weinlesefest to you too. This festival is one of the most popular ones in Mondstadt.
Her voice sounds
I'm so happy
normal.
I ran into you guys here. I hope you have a great time. Oh, also, I heard from Bernhard that you're collecting fair brew jellies.
Yes.
I'm just curious. Are you helping out with the Knights of Favonia's charity event?
Yes.
We sure are. Everybody's got to do their part, right? The stall isn't up and running yet. We're busy raising funds so they can open for business. There's sure to be a bunch of other problems to deal with once it's open, but whatever comes up, we'll deal with it.
Wonderful! They're lucky to have you. Now that you've joined the team, I just know it'll be a huge success.
Thanks, Barbara.
I helped out a small charity sale for the Knights once too. Although, my only contribution was standing out front and singing.
You're an idol.
You're an idol and you attracted customers.
Oh, and I also met the bard, Venti, there. He even persuaded me to perform an impromptu song with him.
Who's gonna tell her? She still doesn't know. She went on vacation with this guy, and we all lied to her face multiple times to keep it under wraps. Jean knows. Jean helped us lie about it when we went to the Apple Archipelago. And said, like, oh yeah, that random bard just happens to know the Dragon Dvalin and know how to play a song to call the Dragon Dvalin. Crazy.
Totally.
That crazy bard, man. That crazy bard.
The music he plays is quite
Venti
refined
says something
and
about the
elegant.
broken lyre.
At first, I
Barbara.
didn't want to sing too loudly in case
know
I
about the
ruined the
lyre.
style he was going for.
He's like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
But he sang a harmony to guide me in, and before long, we were sounding great.
That's
in
nice.
the end, the audience loved it, and we sold a lot at the event.
Of course you did.
Barbara's worked with the tone-deaf bard before?
I wish I could have been there to hear it.
Yeah. Too bad we couldn't fit it into the schedule this year.
Darn.
The Church of Favonius wants to hold a sung poetry event somewhere with a nice view during the festival, which means I have to go to rehearsal.
Yep. Sounds like we've each got our own important work to do. Let's give it our all.
Oh, thank you both. Well, maybe I can't stay here and sing, but I still want to do a little something to contribute. I can help promote your stall.
Oh wow, we got someone famous to promote our merchandise. How nice. We got a licensing deal going on here.
Should I
Brought
make
to you
some
by
big
Barbara.
posters? Or maybe some flyers to hand out. I'll have to pick a memorable slogan too. And maybe it'll seem more sincere if I sign them. Oh, then again, maybe telling people in person would be more effective.
Wow. With Barbara helping out on the marketing side, this charity event will get lots more attention.
It's fine, really. It won't take me too long. Oh, now I feel a little embarrassed. Let me think about it a little more and talk to some other people about their marketing experience. Traveler, Paimon, I'll see you later.
Bye, Barbara.
And, the Knights and the Church of Favonius are really proud of you.
That's a little random, Barbara. I'm pretty sure that's just you, Barbara, but okay.
Paimon's even more motivated than ever now. We gotta make sure we do a really great job here.
have to get enough funds and then I can manage a shop. Then with enough festival fever, I can unlock all the cool things, including the spear. Cool.
Good things come to those who don't wait around. That's what they say.
Yeah,
anyway.
I'll go ahead and
knowing my luck, the opposite is probably true for me.
It's just, I didn't expect there to be actually voiced cutscenes.
Yeah.
For the quests, and well, like some events have the voice cutscenes, but the festivals usually only had them or 1 or 2 cutscenes, and not every dialogue line is dubbed throughout the quest. But yeah, let's go ahead. I'll be back Monday at 2 o'clock. Hope to see you guys then. Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.